Today we're talking about keeping the faith during chaotic times. Thank you so much, Valerie, for being here today. Why don't you introduce everyone to yourself?
Oh, first of all, thanks for having me, Margaret. I was so looking forward for this moment together. And what can I say? I like to say that I'm the best version available of the best available version of myself today, and tomorrow I'll be another one. And a part of that, I'm a conscious business mentor, and I help spiritual businesses and entrepreneurs to thrive and to heal what they have too. And I wrote a book about the full process. It's available in French because I live in Switzerland, the other part of the world. Yes, so and the English version will be available, hopefully, I cross my finger, by the end of the year. So we'll see. And yeah, it's really great, to be here on Substack and able to talk to the world, from my little country. So yeah, it's really great.
Well, Switzerland is known for its skiing, correct?
It was. Can you repeat your question?
Switzerland
Yeah.
is known for its skiing.
Yes, not only, but we have a lot of mountain for sure. So I live, something like 60 minutes from the slopes. So yes, as well as you are from Alaska, no? So you have the ski as well.
Well, I haven't actually skied yet, because I am a person that like to be in control. Okay. So when you I'm just being real. Okay. So when you let go, when you skiing, you can go anyway. If you don't know what you're doing, you can definitely run to a tree or whatever. So I will stay on safe ground. Okay. And leave
Yeah,
that.
for sure. I understand that. I feel exactly the same with biking. When my feet are stuck on the pedals, I feel really bad. So I need to have my feet available whenever I need. And I've been skiing since I'm a little girl. So, it's almost like walking for me. So, yeah.
Exactly. But I would definitely love to come to Switzerland. It's beautiful, breathtaking. Seriously.
Whenever you want. I have an apartment at the mountain. So, well, you're welcome to come.
Well, thank you so much. So what we're talking about is faith. What does
Yes.
faith really look like in leadership? You want to talk to me about that?
Yes. So, of course, it's my point of view and my own experience and the one from my customers. So, faith is something that you feel, first of all, I think, from what I've experienced, in your body first. And then after that, when you feel it deep in your bones, you can say, I can trust, because I can feel this faith in my bones, in my body, in my muscles, in my nervous system. And I am so anchored, aligned, and I really trust it. So I am faithful. And i- because we cannot control anything instead of us, our thoughts, our behaviors, and probably that's all, because a lot of things in our body is works by itself. So yeah, we can anchor ourselves, and that's what faith means to me. It's feeling it, and then you feel something higher supporting you.
Okay. Do you want to go a little bit deeper into that?
Yes, of course. Uh, No, first I want you to tell us what this phase for you.
It's confidence in your voice and who you are as a person and what you represent. Okay. Despite anything and anybody. Okay. It's like your values. It keeps you anchored, like you said. It keeps you aligned. Okay. And it keeps you on the path of success.
Yes, of course, that's absolutely that. And when you say that, can you feel the energy in your body?
I feel it in my body. I feel it in my soul. Okay.
Yes. All around your body, not only. Yeah.
Yeah. But it starts here. It starts here.
Because
Oh, well,
you allow yourself to believe, to feel anchored, and yes, then probably I don't know for you or for the people that are listening to us, but for me, yes, each time I'm not in my path and not following this path, the right one. I don't know why it's the right one, but it's this one. Each time something keep coming in the middle of the way, like a barrier or a signal, and put me back right on this path in my shoes. So there is something bigger than me who is deciding to put me back on the right track. What it is?
absolutely. And choosing courage over fear and clarity, okay, over confusion, okay? Because
I like that. You know, Carl is writing, despite what you think, I am who I am. You can't change that. Absolutely. But it takes time sometimes because where do we come from? Who told you to be the one you should be? You know,
society, our family, our our supervisors, everybody tell us who we supposed to be rather than who we are. And
absolutely. And
that's
then we really have to be bold to feel confident enough and bold enough to go deep down inside us and ask ourselves the right questions.
okay. What would be the one question you would ask?
Who I am? Who am I? What am I here for? What does life is trying to tell me right now? And if I can't answer that, I'll take my journal, a pen, and write it down. What am I struggling in? What have I learned in the past month? Stuff like that, to highlight and to show my mind that something else is happening right now that is not the past I've been taught I should be on.
What we need to do is we need to tell these voices, boo, I got this. You step to the side, okay? And let me
Yep.
run this, okay? We need to get out of our own way, stop listening to these voices. And when these voices come up, is that true? Okay, ask it. Is that true? No, it's not true. Okay, keep going. Okay, because this is
But
just a
but how
distraction.
do you feel that the answer you got is right? And for me, this answer, what all those voices are trying to tell myself are wrong. Why? Because when I go down, deep down in myself, I can feel if it's right or not. Either I can use my body or my heart. If I feel contracted or fear or afraid or something that is not nice, if I love to say, if I feel if it tastes like chocolate, it feels right and it's the right path because obviously everybody loves chocolate so we can relate to that. And otherwise, if you feel contracted and if you feel pressure and all that is not from your soul, is not the right path. It's something that one voices or anybody else, yes, it comes from the past, your family, your mentor, whoever. Your heart, your intuition, your soul are supportive. They want you to succeed. So they won't put pressure on yourself. They are patient, but they will keep on putting you back on your track.
The impatience that we are experiencing is imposter syndrome, and is
Yes.
inner critic. Okay, it's people pleasing. Okay, and all of these other fears. Okay, so when these fears come up, I say to myself, is this true? And then I measure it against my values. Okay.
Yes.
Because sometimes you need something else because you can't go off of just one thing. Okay. So if both of those line up together, then I know, okay, I'm on the right path. Forget what this
So
on the wrong path. Okay.
of course, if you answer those four questions, why am I here? What is my mission? What are my values? What is my vision of life? How do I want to live? If you have that, that is your inner compass. So whatever you are facing right now, come back to those four questions. But you have to have the answer to these four questions, and allow yourself the space, the time to get the answers, and the one from your soul or your heart or your higher self, whoever or whatever the name is, um, because otherwise you will never know who is talking to you and giving the answer. It could be your ego or wherever, the devil in your shoulder or whatever.
Absolutely. Now, with faith and agility, okay, which is basically resilience, they go hand
Yes,
in hand. Okay. You can't have agility without faith. Okay. Because it's like constant reaction. We constantly have to react to things that are going on in the world, and things are changing on a daily, hourly basis. So, how do we make these decisions? I make them based on my values and my faith.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because otherwise you are like a chicken without a head. You go wherever you want to, or you are called to, or whatever, but it doesn't make sense, and at the end you lose your energy, and yes, at the really end you face burnout, and we don't want it anymore. So if you are anchor, you feel face because you have the answer to those four questions. You feel the face in your body, and you can decide from this place, and it's not something that you can um, put in your brain or explain in your brain. It's more like a feeling. I am faithful, I have faith in life and my path and so on. Of course, like everybody, I had difficult times, and when I had to come back to this phase, and why the stuff are happening now. And most part of the time, difficulties or challenges are here to make me grow and reinforce my faith.
Not only that, it's also a part of redesigning, restructuring, because we are constantly in transition and facing change. So embrace it. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, for sure. But it's it's a purpose of life. Life isn't like that, because on an electrocardiogram. I'm not sure about the name in English, but when you feel the beat on the of the heart on the screen, it's not like that, because that is death. So it's like that. So life is has high vibes, low vibes, challenges, great moments, and because sometimes it's difficult, sometimes are great, and that's life. That's all. We are here to learn that.
And when things seem so bleak and so like no way out, I was like, what is the alternative? Death. I get real happy after that. I'm like, bring the challenge on, okay? Bring it on, because I ain't ready for that.
Oh my! But the thing is that when it's your time, it's your time. You know, my father died 3 days after his retirement in an helicopter crash. So when it's your time, it's not your time. Of course, I would have liked to have my father here to go skiing with him and my son, but it's like that. I have no control about the moment of the end. So I'm gonna enjoy the moment here, practice as much as I can non-attachment, because yes, I would like a vision, I would like a result, but I have goals and intention, but I have no control about how it would happen and when. So the only thing is that I have to have faith. I have to be faithful. Otherwise, I stop my life right now.
No, that's not enough.
No, of course not. No, for sure. No, no. I have too much to give to the world, And
Absolutely.
and look, today, of course, today the world is really going crazy. But I think it's really here to help us to build faith, to 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 improve ourselves, to be the best part of us, to lose ego to the benefits of heart. And that's the kind of world I want to live in.
How can we make that possible?
Keep going with your your lives here, and let's keep spreading the word and our energy is not the only way that I have. I have nothing else. I have no magic solutions. I just, I believe in the humanity. I have faith in myself, in my life, and I have faith in the human being, because otherwise, yeah, I will stop everything. So, yeah, I have to be space. I have to have faith to the human being, because yeah, I cannot live seeing only the negativity here in the world.
No, no, not at all. And that's why I stay positive. Although I do get negative sometimes, I'm human, but
Of course,
we to
of
be up,
course.
we have to uplift ourselves from despair. And how are we going to do that? We have to rid ourselves from this negativity. That's including things and people. If you're negative, okay, all right. Sometimes we get down, okay, but don't dwell on it.
No, and the thing is that the more you focus on negative stuff, the more they increase.
Yeah,
So, of course, I have, and someone is saying something about DNA here. I'm not going to read the whole stuff right now, because otherwise I have to translate it in my head and so on. But the thing, yes, we were placed here. We had no choice from our DNA, but there are really good stuff in our life, our past, and how can we use that to build something strong, you know?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because another thing, when things look bleak and things look down, look back on the times where you were successful. Look at the times where you had this joy and happiness in your life. Just thinking about these things automatically changes your mood. Okay?
Yes. And if I keep on seeing the bad stuff I've gone through, I place myself in a victimhood posture, and I don't want to live like that. I am the queen of my life. So I'm the only one who can make this possible. No one else can be the queen of my life.
Say that. Say that. That's absolutely right. Okay? And
Ah, that's
so
beautiful. That sounds right. Yeah,
yeah,
I
right.
like that.
So faith grounds agility, okay? And it allows leaders to adapt while staying rooted in purpose. Okay? So some of the practices that to keep during chaotic times would be an anchor ritual. Okay?
Of
For
course.
example. Right.
Of course. Or if you don't like to anchor, go in the forest. Walk bare feet on the grass. Do some squats because squats anchor you. So do some workout or work with your body because your body will anchor you. Uh, Practice breath techniques, breath workout, um, alternative nostrils and stuff like that will anchor you. And yes, of course, pay attention to what the inner voices are saying because most part of the time it's not useful. It's draining ourselves. 95% of the energy of our body comes from our thoughts, and no, it's not something that are useful because I think 90% of the thoughts are the same as yesterday. And among them, I think 60% or something like that, or maybe it's the reverse, 60% are negative. What's the point of thinking all that? So pay attention to that. And the moment you pay attention to your thoughts, they leave you and the
Yeah.
space is clear.
Yes. And another thing that I use quite often is reframing. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Reframing is very powerful. Okay. I screwed this up. Okay. Well, but I did this good. Okay. And next time I will do a little bit more of this and less of that. Okay.
You know what happened to me last week? So I put my book online, and then I realized that in French the word for hardcover and paperback aren't clear. So I mismatched both, and I sold hardcover, which obviously are more expensive than the paperback, at the price of the paperback. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose money. And then took me something like 3 or 5 minutes to realize that, oh, no, it's such a gift for the pre-orders and the one that order the books at first time because they will get a premium one instead of a soft cover. So, wow, I was just like, okay, great. And okay, I'm losing something like 5 francs per books. Okay, it's a lot, but it's okay. I can give that, you know?
That's a
And
good
it's
refrain.
great. Yes. And it's always the same. There is all, it's yin and yang everywhere. It's like that. Of course, one of several of the leaders across the world are crazy, but light are rising. And more and more people, and that's why probably they are going crazy, so that light can rise up. And I love that because otherwise we will never ask ourselves, what do I expect from a leader? What kind of leader I like? What kind of leader would I like to be? And so on. And so sometimes negativity help us to improve ourselves.
You're right, because it gives me the fuel I need. And I get all this negativity, I'm like, okay, I got to turn this around. How can I use this as fuel to get what I need to get to the finish line? Because ain't nobody gonna stop me. That's for sure. Okay.
You're the only one to get this energy. It's like you're sometimes I tell that to my clients because they really want to improve their relationship with their intuition and their heart, to put it more in the way they lead their company and employees and life as well. And okay, I tell them the only way to reinforce or develop your relationship to your intuition is to dedicate time. The same way that if you want to run a marathon, you have to train yourself to eat the right stuff, to go running. And I don't go to I'm not gonna subscribe myself to a marathon if I'm not ready. So you have to dedicate some time to what matters for you.
That's right. Otherwise, how do you expect to be successful and to get to the finish line? Okay?
Of
And
course, we talk a lot about, spirituality in business, law of attraction and stuff like that. And of course, it's probably part of the game and part of something around faith. But the thing is that if I don't show the universe when I'm going, can I expect it to sustain me, to support me?
okay?
I
Uh,
do my part, the universe is going to do his part.
yeah, exactly. You have to do your part. The universe give us five senses, okay? If we don't utilize those senses to the best of our ability, how you expect for anyone else to help you?
And the body to do stuff here in this life. I don't know for the next one, but for this one, I'm this kind. I have this body. I have this purpose in my life, and I have to follow this path. That's it.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the ripple effects of faithful leadership, okay?
Yes.
All right. Now teams mirror their leaders' energy. If you stay grounded, others will too. That's why I tell people you have to lead by example, okay? So,
Of course. I,
uh,
I, I have nothing else to add. Of course. When when you change yourself, it changes the world around you. And of course, your team is part of your world. So, yes, if I am, and I can see that with my clients, I can see that with my family. When I'm not aligned, when I'm angry or afraid or what, there is a ripple effect and they don't feel good. If I am good, if I take care of myself and I dedicate time to be anchored, to feel what I feel, to adjust myself, then the ripple effect is positive. But there is a ripple effect, whatever your energy is. Oh,
and we need to be cognizant of that, how we show up, because how we show up, it affects others, your family, people at work, people on Substack, everywhere.
absolutely. And about social network. I've been a social media consultant years ago, and I was telling my client, if you don't want to use media, don't use it. If you don't like social media, don't use it. If you don't want to show up in a life, don't go. Because if you are afraid of, if you don't want or whatever, the energy is not the same that when you are looking forward. So yeah, obviously your energy matters. So take care of your energy. And I think it's really part of the new way of working is that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour a day, I don't care how much. Everyone knows how much time he needs to dedicate to his alignment, energy, anchoring to be good. And it should be part of our work day,
So, so would you say that would be a ritual that you would practice the first thing in the morning when you get up?
of course.
Okay.
I don't wake up. I don't wake up. I don't go out of my bed until I feel very high energy in myself. Because sometimes sometimes you wake up and you don't feel that good. I don't know why, what happens, and you are tired or whatever. But then I see my day. Who am I gonna meet? Am I looking forward and so on? Am I thrilled to meet those people? And if not, okay, what's good in my life? What's good if I have nothing today or the last day? Okay, I go back 10 years ago. What was good? Just to change my energy, to shift my energy in a positive way. And whoa, then the effect is okay.
Well, all right then. Okay, I love that. Now, faith builds trust. Trust builds resilience, and resilience fuels results. What do you want to say about that?
I'm I face difficulties with resilience. So Uh, Probably that if you are not, because, resilience is really a trend word. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like authentic or vulnerable or like that. But apart the marketing trends, I guess that if you are not faithful, I'm not sure you can be resilient.
I don't know because I am faithful, so I wouldn't have any idea.
So I don't know as well, just to come back to the book because it's the experience I'm in it right now. It was a 2 years journey and I wrote 800 pages to come back to have a 300 pages book. So I started 3 times from the beginning. So yes, I knew from the beginning that I wanted a book, but obviously it was not a theoretical book about spirituality. It was a practical book, so I had to have example and so on, and that's why in the end it took myself 2 years. But I could have said after the first time I sent the book to the editor and he came back to me and said, okay, you have to tell the story about yourself, to show yourself vulnerable, and um, tell the bad things about yourself. I could have said, oh no, I don't want to write a book like that, and stopped it immediately, and I could have done anything else. But I wanted to write a book and I had to find a way in between because I don't want to put bad vibes in that books.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know. Yes, resilience, if I think about my experiences, um, yes, the bad ones asked me to find something like faith or something that I can trust or rely on to be sure that I can thrive.
That's not necessarily an individual, I can tell you that. It has to be coming from a higher power of some sort.
Of course, it could. Sometimes when I tell myself, I remember during COVID, I was just lying, into my bed like a kid, and almost crying because, yeah, things were really hard for me at that time, but of course for anyone. Um, I prayed God and asked for some help, and it was the first time in my life I prayed God. And I could have prayed the universe, or I don't know. I trust that some people are helping me. I don't know who it is, and uh, I really don't care. Actually, I'm supported, you know.
So what happened after that? What happened after that?
After that moment, um, I felt better. I didn't understand why I was facing that. And I knew that there was a reason for living that at that time. And then I had support in this life. People were on my path and were here to help me. And I feel less alone, even if in my struggles, of course, I was alone with my thoughts and my feelings, but I got supported.
And that's what we need to do. We need to ask the universe for what we want. You got to open your mouth. Nobody can read your mind.
I mean,
Okay.
of course.
Ask what you need. Ask for what you want. And it may not come when you want it, but it will come on time. Okay. And I believe that because I'm
And
a living witness.
and probably it will not come the way you expect it to come. It's like when you are sitting at a restaurant, looking at the menu, and you order what you would like to eat. but you have absolutely no idea the way it will look like when the waiter is coming with your plate. So, okay, ask, order what you want, then let the guy, the chief in the kitchen, do his job and welcome your plate and enjoy your meal.
That is an example of faith.
Yes, absolutely. You have no control in between. You are not the one who is cooking. And if you keep asking the waiter asking the waiter to order something else, or you change your mind in between, each time the chef throw your plate, throw what he cooked to the garbage and start something new. So don't change your mind each single time you order something.
Because you are not taking other people's feelings in consideration, which is really not a faithful person, really, because a faithful person takes other people's feelings in consideration, okay, before you act. Okay, that's when I know what a person is made of, just by that alone. If you violate that, I'm done with you. But anyway, courageous leadership, okay, in chaos. Let's talk about that.
Oh my God. We will, we are in a 2025 is a 9 year, and 2026 in numerology will be a 1 year. And I have the feeling that we will we will have to raise the way, develop and change the way we lead, to put more yin energy or feminine energy in young energy and leadership. And it has to be a balance between both, sometimes young, sometimes yin, but it's not because we were in a patriarchal era that we have to go to a matriarchal era. What we have to do is have a balance. So what does it mean to be courageous, to be bold, to raise your feminine vibe or your sacred feminine or the feminine energy? Because and what is the kind of leader you want to be? Use the leader across the world, their example, and imagine yourself who you want to be. And you can lead yourself, your team, your family, and just be the sovereign you can be. Or you are meant to be. I don't know. It sounds easy. It's not that easy to ask yourself the right question. And it asks yourself, of course, to be courageous, to ask yourself the right question, and to go deep down, really deep down.
Absolutely. And it's about speaking your truth without sugarcoating while still offering hope. Okay? And that's me. I'm just
Of
straight.
course.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that you have to be, um, you know, speaking your truth is speaking from alignment and from your heart and your body. It doesn't mean that you have to be um, to to show anger, or you can be soft and speak your truth. You can be heart centered and speak your truth. And from time to time, you're a little bit angry because you're human, and that's okay.
Well, I love that. And
And
so go ahead.
furthermore, you are not responsible about what the other one is feeling about what you're saying. You are responsible of half of the way. The way is you send it the best way. Your job is to send it the best way, to express yourself the best way you can.
There it is.
And you cannot do anything about the way the other one received it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's their issue.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Absolutely. So balancing realism with optimism, allowing challenges, but not surrendering to them. Okay? Don't do that. Okay?
Okay. I agree. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you took time to, yeah, you have some notes.
Of course.
Of
I come
course.
prepared.
Yes, yes, you did your job. And you know about faith is that you invited me to talk with you, and I was not gonna control this. And because it's you invited me, so you control it, you do it the way you want, and then I answer the best as I can. And I show up the best version of myself available today. But yes, I have to trust that something great would happen and that we will have a feeling and so on. Because otherwise, uh, I will not have answer yes, you know. So, so it's you know I cannot control what you want me to say. I cannot control what you are going to ask me. So I have to be faithful and faithful as well in the way that I can express myself and show up, even if my mother tongue is not English. So, yes.
Your English is fine. Okay?
Yeah, it's okay. And I know because I did my work, my homework. I take lessons and I'm improving myself. But anyway, it's not exactly the same. You know, when you don't speak, it's difficult to speak your truth from the bottom of your heart and your body when it's not your mother tongue because you don't have the full range of words. But it's okay, you know, and I am confident and I trust you and I trust the space that you are building. And because I have no choice, because I cannot control that.
That's faith. That's
That
faith. Okay?
space.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about some statistics, okay? The average across 26 countries, 61% of adults that say they believe in God or higher power. 40% specifically in God as described in the scriptures, 20% in a higher spirit, while 21% don't believe in any such force. Have you ever
Only 21%. Wow. I was sure that it was more than 21% that don't believe in anything. So I'm happy. That's great.
And as the year go on, as this uh administration goes on, it's going to be more people that are going to be converting to faith.
Of course. And I wish it's bright face, you know, because maybe it's not always that bright. And I hope for the world, for the best of the world, that it's really bright, clear, and hopeful.
Well, when we look back at history, when I look back at the history of my life and all the adversity and challenges that I faced and overcame, I said they can't be any worse. The things that I'm facing in the future can't be any worse than the things that I've already experienced. So it can't be nothing but better. Okay. And that's where my faith is today. Okay.
Yes, but this one is bright.
Absolutely. Even though I don't know how much money I'm going to get in my pension, and I don't know when I'm going to get it. Okay. I'm still going to hold my faith. I don't know when I'm going to get my Social Security or how much. I'm still going to hold my faith. Okay? Because what's the alternative? Death. And I know that I've come this far, and the universe is going to make sure that I go as far as I can because it wouldn't have. I
Yes,
would.
and you
Okay.
know, it's such. I know that, and I can feel that it's really a hard time for you,
It
but
is.
y- but the lessons here and how you are getting stronger is such inspiring, even if this time is so hard and your energy is so high And wow, you should be proud of yourself. Can be proud of yourself, because even if it's hard, your high vibes are, so high. And thank you for that. It's inspire a lot of people.
Yeah, because I know if push, I've been homeless before. So if I have to be homeless again, I'll be homeless. Okay. If my car is paid for, if I have to live in my car, I'll live in my car. But I'm going to make it. I am going to survive. Okay. Because, like I said, the alternative is death, and I'm not going there. Okay. Because I got too much living to do. Okay.
Uh,
Each and every one of us do. And that's the attitude that we need to have about life.
wow.
Okay. It is what it is. Okay. Now let's talk about religion and spirituality. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I am not religious because of my
Me
abusive child,
neither. No.
and the Bible was used to victimize, manipulate, and control, and that's the reason why I didn't like it. Okay, so it's about beliefs, practices, and rituals centered around higher power or divine truth. Okay, all right. And so then versus spirituality, it's about personal and individual journey of seeking connection with meaning, purpose, and something greater than oneself. This I can definitely get with, and I'm all about. Okay, embodiment. Okay.
Same for me. And if it's this spiritual journey is related to religion for some people, it's okay. You
Yeah, it's
know,
okay.
it's okay if they get meaning there. It's okay. For me, spirituality is just life. And
Yes.
how do you live, and how do you want to live, and what that makes sense, what is important for you, what do you value, and where do you put your energy, and how can you do better each day, and it's okay. And if for that you have to pray God or chant mantras, or I don't know, work out in fitness, it's okay. Find your own way of being spiritual or on your own path. And I really would like, more people finding their way of being anchored and embodying their soul and their soul journey. And with that, probably the world will be much better. There will be less ego and wars and so on. And when you respect yourself, of course, you respect the other one.
Exactly. Exactly. And so as far as religion with expression, it's like it's collective. And I love that. And through worship, sacred text, traditions, and community. Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
I had the chance to I learned Kundalini yoga, and during my this training, we were chanting mantra. I don't know, 50 or 100 people in a room chanting together, singing together the same words. Ong Namo, Gurudev Namo, or whatever. And the feeling is a community, and feeling that in your body, and all the vibration of the words together, it's really something so powerful. It's almost like you are in a Coldplay concert, or in a Coldplay show. So yes, I wish that if everyone could feel that one day, because it helped a lot to feel that you can rely on more than just yourself, your thoughts, your body, your behavior, and your path.
What it is the collective. It's oneness. Okay. And I do miss that camaraderie from being in the church when I was growing up. I do miss that. And I do miss, the music and all of the other things that went with it. Okay. There are pros and cons to everything. Okay. with spirituality, we're talking about internal and experiential, okay, through meditation, reflection, creativity, connection with nature.
Yes. Yes. And whatever the meditation means for you, you don't have to sit 20 minutes or 2 hours a day trying to get rid of your thoughts. It can be a walk, and it can be as long as you are fully present in what you are doing. You can cook, and it's a meditative practice. If you don't binge watch Netflix at the same time.
Yeah, mindfulness, So, yeah, I now try to just concentrate on doing one thing at a time
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
multitasking, which takes so much more energy away from me, and really it decreases the productivity. When we think
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
multitasking, we doing three things, four things at one time. Then you're like, oh, what was I doing? No, I don't do that no more. Forget that.
No. Now I'm for the last 2 or 3 years I've learned to swim, and to swim as a workout. And the thing is that swimming is such a meditative practice for myself, and I have to be really mindful, because if I'm thinking to something else while I'm swimming, when I try to, I turn my head to breathe in, and the thing is that water comes in because I'm desynchronized. And so then I cough and I don't, I can't swim. So swimming is something that helps me a lot to be fully present. Otherwise, when I'm driving or cooking or whatever, I can watch a Netflix show in at the same time. But when I swim, I really have to be fully present. And that's since I'm doing that, I need less time sitting on a cushion, closing my eyes and trying to meditate and stop my thoughts. Find Everyone has to find his own way. And yes, meditation is okay, is one option, but there are a lot of other options.
Absolutely. Now, with religion, as far as its strengths, it offers community, as I said, shared rituals, uh, moral frameworks, and a sense of a continuity. Okay,
Yes.
where the strengths for spirituality provides freedom, flexibility, and deeper personal resonance. And that's why spirituality, it resonates with me, because it's not straight. It's
Yes, because otherwise it's just really, if you practice a religion without being conscious or fully present or spiritual, you are just in another framework and other boxes and doing stuff with, and it's restraining yourself. And this is not spiritual. So, um, yes, I love the way you see spirituality, and I like that. And probably the same for me. But I like as well to have some kind of, not framework, because I don't want to be in new boxes, or add more to my agenda. But I like to have some rituals, full moon rituals, and not to be like a witch, but just to be back in my power. And it's a nice reminder each month to use the moon, the new moon, or the full moon, or I don't know. Each Monday I'm doing something, or like we used to go to church on Sundays, for example. And I like to have those kinds of reminders, and I don't feel obliged to do something at that time. If I feel like I should be more aligned, I'm going to use it.
absolutely. Now, with regards to religion or spirituality, you choose what works for you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing you what the differences is, and you decide
Yes.
for yourself
Yeah.
what works best for you. And so, the intersection, okay, religion can be a pathway to spirituality. Okay,
Yes.
spirituality can exist without religion. Okay, Now, both point towards faith in something beyond the self, but they use different languages, practices, and structures. Okay?
Of course.
It is what it
Yes.
is. You
Yes.
take what it is, okay? So, leadership connection. Leadership in religion and leadership offers structure based on values, tradition, and guiding principles. Okay. Now, spirituality and leadership offers adaptability, intuition, authenticity, and deep presence. Together, they both shape leaders who are both grounded and agile.
Oh, I love that. You should send me your notes. Great job. Wow.
So
Are you going to write a Substack article about that? Because it's very true and useful.
I write now when I my energy feels that I should write. If
Yeah.
I don't feel like writing, I'm gonna continue to do what I do best, and that's collaborating and doing lives. That's where my power lies.
I love that you listen to your energy and your true self and your true power. And again, you are inspiring by example. So, yep, I love that. Really, thank you for having me. It's so inspiring.
Thank you, and you are too. So, do you have any comments or anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, maybe to yes, find find what suits you the best. You know, if either it's religion or spirituality or whatever, but go inside yourself, ask yourself the right questions, go deep down inside yourself and feel what feels right for you, because only you can feel what is right for yourself. I cannot teach you what to do. I can give you some example the way you are doing it, but the one that are listening to us, please allow yourself to find your own answer and way of being and doing.
Absolutely. Let me see if there's any questions. Do anybody have any questions?
Yes, listen first, respond later. So true. And allow yourself space to listen.
Absolutely.
That's true. So nice. All those comments. So
I would like to say that faith in leadership is less about religion and more about embodying trust, resilience, authenticity, and values when chaos strikes. By staying grounded in principles inclusive of diverse beliefs, transparent in uncertainty, and resilience in adversity, leaders inspire others to see beyond chaos and embrace possibility. Okay? Faith in chaos isn't passive, it's active, disciplined, and courageous. What is one practice you'll use this week to strengthen your faith when chaos arises? Chaos doesn't define us. Our courage and faith in how we show up does. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
thanks to you. Oh, it's so beautiful, those words. So thank you very much. Yes.
Thank
Great
you all.
conclusion.
Thank you all. Thank you all. And thank you, Valerie. I appreciate you.
Me too. Me too. See you soon. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me. Take
Thank you.
care of you, everyone, and
All
you
right.
as well, Margaret.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Bye.